Welcome everybody, and today we're taking a look at 1974's Violent Streets. Now this is another new release from Eureka, part of their Masters of Cinema collection. This is number 273, and this was released alongside Magnificent Warriors, and this was directed by Hideo Gosha, who I've not seen anything from before, but I have, on the back of this, been impressed by this, ordered Free Outlaw Samurai, which, since I'm going through the Zaduchi series at the moment, that feels like something else I'll really rather enjoy. And this is a Yakuza crime film, clocking in at 96 minutes long. Stars Noboru Ando, who I've seen in Street Mobster, as well as Bunta Sugawa, who I've also seen in Street Mobster, as well as Cops vs. Thugs. And it's about a Kansai syndicate who are setting their sights on Tokyo, and a former Yakuza boss gets dragged back into a world of violence. So this film really does take the violent part of its title to heart, as this has violence to it that is really rather realistic. As you'll see several action films where someone will get hit over the head with a glass bottle and might be a little bit of blood or something like that, or none at all, or it won't really affect them. But in this, blood gushes and it's really rather quite violent. So it's also really, like I said, really rather realistic in that regard. And while having near horror levels of blood, this would rival Evil Dead in some regards. In that aspect. So the cast is also great. The score is good. It is predominantly well paced. Has a solid production value to it. The action scenes are excellent. It has mostly engrossing plot, and the character interactions are well handled. Sadly, there are some plot points that feel a little disjointed, especially in terms of the final confrontation, which suddenly cuts to that final confrontation where it's partway through and it just feels a little bit like a bit rushed. And the pacing at the beginning is a little on the slow side, but it does pick up after a relatively short time. So this has been given a 2K restoration, and is presented on 1080p on Blu-ray. You do get optional English subtitles, but you can actually watch it without them at all if you already are well versed in Japanese, which is really nice to see. And you also get an introduction to Violent Streets and the works of director Hideo Gosha by film critic Tony Raines, and Fighting in the Streets, video essay by writer and filmmaker Jasper Sharp, and you get the original theatrical trailer as well. So this is the disc. Now there is no original artwork with this; it's just the redone artwork. So which is a little bit of a shame, but you do get a little bit of a shot from the film there, and same with, let's get it out, same with behind the disc as well, as you can see. So no original artwork, which again, like I said, is a shame. We got that with Magnificent Warriors, so I'm not sure why we didn't get it with this, but we haven't. And you also get a booklet as well, again with more shots from the film. And cast and crew as per usual in the front. And then you got Rule Breaker, Hideo Gosha, and Violent Streets by Tom Mez. So he talks about the film, as well as general Japanese cinema and other directors from the time. And you again get shots from the film, which again are showing off some violence, but we'll avoid showing off any of that, just for YouTube's sakes, I guess. And and then you get the Blu-ray credits and all that lot in the back. So not an extensive release or anything like that. The booklet is a little bit on the thin side compared to maybe some Masters of Cinema releases, but you do get the really rather nice slipcover to go with it, which again has the new artwork on it, which I really rather quite like. It's really, really well done. And the film itself is pretty good. It's just all those last couple of flaws that I talked about that really hindered it from getting, any higher level of, rating. But still, 4 out of 5 is not bad at all. It's just a set below Magnificent Warriors, which out of the two I prefer. But they are different beasts, quite frankly. And but still, it's really nice to have 2 new releases from Asian cinema, and 2 really rather different releases as well. And even though this is slightly not as good as Magnificent Warriors, it's still a great film in its own right. And 2 really, really good films overall. So I'm really looking forward to what else Eureka are releasing this year, because we do have the In the Line of Duty films. We have 3 and 4 of those coming out. And then we have The Bullet Train, which again, another Japanese film, which I absolutely adore that film. So I'm really glad it's finally getting a Blu-ray release, so it's easy for everyone else to find it. And we'll also have a a new horror collection as well from Eureka, which obviously isn't Asian, but they are still looking like really rather good films. So yeah, this year is far from over, and we're already gotten several great releases. So yeah, looking forward to seeing what the rest of the year brings. But nonetheless, thank you for watching. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this film if you've seen it, but if you haven't, I highly recommend it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.